Is there love after life? Or maybe the real question is there life after love? Well, I'm here to tell you a story, my story. My story is one of the greatest love stories of all time. The problem is, it only lasted for what I consider a short time. If you've ever had someone you dearly, dearly love in your life, a wife, a husband, a partner, you're lucky. We're lucky. And unfortunately, mine passed away fairly young. We were together only 6 years. Yes. Yeah, the love of my life. After I was married for a long time, before that, after a few years, I finally found the true match. I felt he was my soulmate. In fact, our first date lasted 3 days. Ah, I'm so happy that I can laugh, um, that I can laugh again after this. Now, this happened 20 years ago, 20 years ago. And it took me a long time to laugh again. But I want to tell you about some of the ways that I dealt with it, that I didn't do so good, or that I think that may help you if you're going through something like this. Words and what everybody says to you, my thoughts and prayers, honestly, there are no words or thoughts or prayers. Knowing grief so bad that you just want the world to open you up and just swallow you. That's hard to describe, right? Was that pretty good? No. It's horrible. You have to go through it, unfortunately. Some people, it takes a little bit longer. Let me put it this way. I've been told there's a mourning process. Mourning, MOURNING. And that is a process. There's whole stages and all that other stuff. And then there's grief. Grief is like that action, that feeling that comes over you. And it's like a tsunami. I remember when my Jimmy died. And I just, when was it? It was like the end of October. Of course, all the holidays were coming up. And then I was fine. I thought I was fine. I'm walking in the store, and it was the beginning of the Christmas season, and there I was in the aisle, and I just lost it. I mean, I was completely out of control. That never happened to me. I always felt like I was, I could kind of control myself. But I just did. I collapsed in the aisle. Well, I didn't collapse. I just threw myself up against, I think it was the card aisle. I think that's what did it. And the tears, they wouldn't stop. You know what I remember? I don't remember their face, but someone coming over and just holding me. They didn't ask why. Nothing. Nothing had to be said. There can be nothing be said when grief takes over. So I did something that I'm kind of famous for, and that is I accelerated my grief. I just did not want this for the rest of my life. I had great fears. I was in my 50s. Was I in my 50s? Let me think about this. Actually, I just turned 50. Ooh. And I said, you know what? I was so afraid. I'm like, I found the best guy in the whole world. Will I ever find this again? I'm getting old. I'm doing this. Oh my God. And by this time and this and that. So my mind, not only was I suffering from the moment, I was projecting and bringing that grief and fear into my future. And I'll tell you, I did that for a while, and that is not a good thing to do. If you're suffering and still suffering, well, we all suffer, but you know what I mean. If you're grieving or you have those fears, I learned to accelerate it, I cried so much in my first 3 months. I didn't know this. I didn't realize what was happening. I thought there was something wrong with me because the skin on my face all here, it looked like I had burn marks. I'm like, what's wrong with me? You know, I live in the mountains. This ain't sunburn. Well, it was the salt from my tears. One day I figured out, let me put some Vaseline on my face, and I had to do that. But then, after just allowing myself to wallow, and I didn't have to put Vaseline on my face anymore. That was a few months later. And I decided I was not going to let my fears take a hold of me. I had a daughter. She was grown, but I had a daughter. I had a business. I had people who relied upon me. And I loved them. And I couldn't let them down. So I had to decide to live again. Live. And somewhere along the line, love would come. And I did focus on finding someone for a long time. In fact, I probably did it a little bit too much. I actually remember the day I forced myself. Oh, it was a very tearful, another crying day. But I sat there and I wrote my profile for a dating site. And I forced myself to write it. I probably shouldn't have started looking, but I knew it was going to take a while. And that forced action accelerated my mourning process, accelerated it so I could, I don't know, pummel through it, or I actually felt like, you know, like one of those, like a warrior with the sword slashing. Get out of my way, get out of my way. That's it. I'm not going to take this. I'm not going to take this. And then one day, I decided that I was just going to stop. Not that I couldn't stop thinking, but I took things away and I put them in a box. Beautiful pictures. I just put them away. And I said, they'll always be here. They're not going anywhere. They'll be here. And I can visit at times. But in the meantime, I had to work on me. So, that being said, if this is you, or has been you, or you've had someone, or you know someone, love is something we all experience and we all have loss. But if you've experienced something catastrophic like this, I hope you are going to save yourself. They left us, but now it's time to save ourselves. So here I am, and I'm talking to you. Let's save ourselves. I mean, let's do the journey along the way. It never really ends. It changes. It evolves. You evolve. You grow. You will find love again, whether it be a pet, another person, a platonic friend, or a romantic friend. The adventure is there waiting for us. We just We just have to allow that grief to wash over us. And it comes in waves, right? It does come in waves. And let it wash. And it washes through us. And what's left is a bit of renewal, more strength to go on. You know, in the end, I do believe we all wind up together. We're all tethered. You, me, them, us. We are all tethered, and we will be reunited one day. Whatever you believe in, God, source, whatever it is. But until then, let's live our life. Let's really live our life. It's so precious. We only got one round. Well, maybe we only have one. I do believe we come back. But that's another video for another time. So, by the way, my name is Rena. And if you want to come be on the adventure with me to help us live again, please do subscribe to my channel. I'll be posting more videos on the loss of our loved one. Of course, there's so much more to that. And maybe there's something you want to say. Just comment below. Just comment below. And we'll talk about it. And until then, remember, it comes in waves, like the ebbs and the tide. Don't worry. Don't worry. You're doing good. Let's live.